Итак, об экзитах, слияниях и поглощениях, о новых гранях венчурного роста здесь на этой сцене будут говорить модератор сессии CEO Most Ventures, кофаундер Most Holding и Most Investors Club Алим Хамитов. Давайте поприветствуем. Алим поднимается на сцену. Ребята, сразу давайте микрофоны. Благодарю. Вместе с ним в этой сессии поучаствует венчур-инвестор, партнер MA7 Ventures Ильжан Кушекбаев. Приветствуем, Ильжан, поднимайтесь к нам на сцену. Также приглашаем соучредителя и генерального партнера CABRA VC Алексея Алексанова. Также приглашаем CEO B Global Ventures Нуржана Кадыркей. Также приглашаем тех биопредпринимателей и основателей компании BioDoc Incorporated Нурлыбека Мурсалиева. И в этой сессии поучаствует CEO Sendgage.ai Руслан Абдулganiyev. Да, коллеги, пока проверьте микрофоны. Итак, мы в очень плотном режиме двигаемся, но я думаю, что достаточно комфортно все происходит. Давайте... Все уже? Все, уже нет выхода с этой сцены. Крикер, минутку. Давайте поаплодируем. Алим Хамитов и прекрасная команда спикеров. Ваши аплодисменты, друзья. Алим, передаю тебе микрофон.
Раз. Все, да, я думаю, можем начинать. Друзья, мы тут дискутировали, скажем так, на каком языке провести, но я сторонник того, что все-таки мы встаем на технологическую карту мира, международную технологическую венчурную карту мира, да, и, наверное, было бы странно там говорить, наверное, на русском, да, и поэтому я надеюсь, что всем окей. Мы хотели провести бы сессию на английском. Если все-таки кому-то некомфортно, у нас есть на казахском, тут сложно будет и спикером, потому что я очень рад, что у нас такая разная аудитория здесь. Вот, поэтому мы будем проводить на английском, поэтому да, если все-таки нужен перевод, есть наушники, и у нас как раз синхронный перевод идет здесь. Окей,
у меня
да?
с русским плохо, так что
да,
спасибо.
Да, вот у нас ребята забывают уже, да, наверное, и русский, и казахский. Так, so let's begin actually. Hello again, and I'm happy to be on the stage again. And thanks a lot right away to my friends and partners for accepting the invitation. I know that we don't have so much time, but there are several things we would love to achieve through this session. Actually, I always say that the forum, the event, it's opportunity to say what you do, and specifically to say what kind of achievements you have, and maybe what kind of challenges we have. And the subject, I think, since you are here, the subject that we decided to highlight, it's about exits M&A. I mean, it's clear for entrepreneurs, for investors, but I think it's really important for Kazakhstan to raise this subject, how to make exits and how to develop our M&A markets. And I think there's a lot of challenges over there. So the structure of the session will be that who prepared the presentation, you can share your presentation, one after another, and after that I have some question, and let's discuss an exits and M&A stuff. As a host, I will be the first one. I think I will take this opportunity to also say what we do. I will try to make it fast. So again, I would love to present what we do. Just want to update you guys, since sometimes I hear that people say that you guys do accelerator, you have hub and other things, but how about investments? What you're up to today? So basically, as a Most Ventures, we have 3 funds now. So Most Ventures Fund 1, this is the first fund we launched 4 years ago. Yeah, I think it's 4 years ago. We made the first deal 2021. As of now, we invested in 28 companies. Here's the logos of these companies. We still believe that our Central Eurasian founders can do a lot and build great companies, great scaling stories. Yeah, we are registered in Astana International Financial Center. I think we are the first one. Yeah, as we announced yesterday and today, we have the first exit. We have partial exit from GoChat. It was also announced. And yeah, just want to say that our approach a little bit different, since as part of the fund, we have our own investment readiness accelerator, where we invest up to 25K in kind. But I'm so happy to see that our startups also raising money, maybe not from our fund. I will skip this. Where's this? Yeah. Actually, we are raising our second fund. It's accelerator fund now. So if you're an investor, you have an opportunity to participate. And actually, as part of the forum, we're going to have a startup battle. And you're going to see up to 15 companies, where 10 of them will receive first investments of 200K. So we launch our AI Accelerator Fund. So if you're the startup in AI B2B, please approach me. We also launch Most IDA Fund. It's a 30 million fund. We would like to invest in companies from the late seed up to Series A. So the average check will be from 500K to 1 million. And again, it's about Central Eurasian founders, wherever they are, and also maybe international companies who would love to scale to Central Asia. We also can be your investor. And lastly, it's a big story, just like a plan, but sometimes people say don't say your plans, but basically we're coming to the stage, we're going to get the license, and we plan to launch most private equity fund based in Singapore. And we would like to invest not only in a fully venture companies, but if you are in a private equity sector, private equity, but your business is connected with technology development, we'll be happy to also consider your company for investment. The size is 200 million, and yeah, more news come here. And I'm so happy, actually, we brought some partners abroad who will be our shareholders here in the fund. So yeah, here's just my context. And so this is, in terms of update, what we have today as most. What is actually next one? I'm sorry. So I think, who prepared the presentation? I think Yelzhan, Alexey, right? Yeah. Yeah, so Yelzhan, please.
Hello, everyone. Alim. One. Hello, everyone. My name is Yelzhan. Alim, thank you for inviting to this panel. Thank you for hosting and organizing this beautiful event. As usual, this is magnificent. I am doing angel and venture capital investments for 5 years now. Started in 2020. Since that time, I have invested in over 90 companies. I have 12 successful exits and 15 write-offs so far. My portfolio consists of 50% seed, pre-seed stage companies, 30% Series A plus growth companies, and 20% pre-IPO stage companies. I mostly invest with the various communities around the world. Syndicates, my ticket size is not very big. It's from 10K to 100K with an average of 30K. And last year, Murat Abdurrahmanov invited me to establish an Angels Club. Sorry, before I go to talk about Angels Club, these are some exits I had. On the left, there are early stage companies, and on the right, late stage companies. So Murat, he will be giving a big keynote later on, talking about his exits and his experience for 10 years in the industry. So last year, he invited me, and we joined forces to establish an open MA7 Angels Club. It's a community where investors can co-invest in the projects where we invest in, and Murat personally invests in. We so far have 140 members. Half of them already invested with us. In less than 1 year time, we already invested more than 8 million and from the club, and 3-4 million of own money. We accept investors from the minimum check of 10K. And the largest check from the investors who invest with us is 600K. We invest globally. I'd say like 70% of our investments are in startups that operate on big global markets such as US. 20% will be our Central Asian founders who has a potential and ambitions to go global, and 10% other world. Yeah, that's pretty much what we do. Thank you.
Thanks, Yejan. Yeah, while my team has actually changed the slides for Alexey, I just want to highlight this is a good case actually. Yejan is a serial entrepreneur, started as a business angel. Now they have, with Mora, they have own club. So the story is growing, which is great. And actually, I invite you to also consider that you can be part of this story too. So Alexey, I think you also, right? You have presentation.
Hi everyone. Yeah,
Please.
Alim, thank you for your invitation. I'm glad to be here. It works too loud, I think. My name is Alexey Alexanov, and I'm a professional investor. I run 2 early stage funds, which dedicated to B2B sector in the US. So we invest in companies that helps enterprise companies improve productivity and customer engagement, because all we know that churn can kill your company. So for the last 10 years, I invested more than 60 times. May I ask for remote? Yeah, so I started, as I said, from early stage companies, pre-seed, which generated like $4,000 or $5,000 per month. And now my portfolio companies have grown up to a few millions per month. I have 8 exits, and now I'm more focused on late stage companies. So we live in an era where we have a lot of black swans, like COVID, like geopolitics, like venture capital winter. And we see that a lot of exits, this is the topic of our session, they are postponed, unfortunately. And I would like to tell you about statistics and where we are in terms of global market. And as example, I will show you US market, because as we know, 40% of venture capital in terms of amount of the deals, in terms of value, money invested in venture capital is in the US. So here are a few slides like bragging badge, who we work with. So I work with accelerators, some famous funds, syndicators. For the last 10 years, I have built a wide network in the US. Here are some notable deals, including very famous companies like Anduril, Cohere, Anthropic, Perplexity. So it was my late stage investments. And here I would like to show you the numbers to understand where we are in terms of the US market, to compare it with Kazakhstan. Yeah. So as we can see, the amount of the exits in the US is tremendous. It's more than 1,000 exits was declared in last year, which tremendous value, like $158 billion of dollars. So IPO is one of the favorable exit for every single investor. But we see that IPO activity is not there. There is a few reasons for that. First of all, it was like geopolitic, high interest rate, stressed on the public market. So a lot of IPO, as I mentioned, postponed. But the main return in early stage investments, we can make up to Series B. So that stage where the company have built the product, they generate somewhere about $1 to $5 million in dollars, and the corporates can buy a beautiful product which is scalable, and that's the most probable exit for angel investors and the funds. In Central Asia, I took a look some statistic. We see that Kazakhstan is the leader, but the number of transactions in terms of exits, it's about 8. So if we compare with the United States, where it's more than 1,000, we have a potential to grow. Here, I would like to show an example. So if you invested in 2018 in some companies, in some startups, the probability to get an IPO exit is less than 1%. M&A, it's about 5.5. So as we can see, only 5% of investment are successful for the investors. So if you would like to discuss Kazakhstani startups, that there are not so much companies, but you should compare the numbers. Yeah, so it's a typical situation where successful companies, there is a few. Because of postponed IPO and M&As, we see that the secondary transaction is most probable exit today. What does it mean, secondary transaction? When the company is growing and there is no buyer who want to acquire this company, there is no IPO, some of the investors would like to buy your shares, your investors' shares, and make an exit for you because they want to invest more money than you invested. And that's the way how you can earn, make a return. So that's why I focused last few years on that topic, because it's a booming market, more than $100 billion in exits. So yes, that's what I wanted to tell you about the numbers, to make you more understand where we are in terms of market. Thank you.
Good. Thanks a lot, Alexey. Actually, you kind of covered what I wanted to ask you about. What is the average temperature? What's going on now with the exits? But you did really good homework. Really appreciate that. I mean, good numbers. Okay, good. Ruslan, yeah, you also got a presentation, I think.
Hi, everyone. My name is Nurjan Kadirki. I'm a CEO of GB Global Ventures. Glad to be here. Thanks most for hosting us, and we're great to be part of this story 2 years in a row. So today I would like to a little bit of what we are doing to support the VC ecosystem in Kazakhstan region. So actually, Big Global is a venture arm, is sovereign fund of funds Kazakhstan Investment Corporation, and 2 years in a row we are doing a number of activities which affects on supporting and making more, adding more value to the market of the VC. So there is some highlights. As I said, Big Global with the partners doing VC reports in Kazakhstan, Central Asia, and overall the region of Caucasus. And you can see that the huge numbers, around less than 2,000 startups now in the region which are active, and the number of VC deals as well as number of startups are growing. There is a huge growth for the last 6 years. So there is some highlights from our VC reports. You can find it on our website, everywhere. I think in social networks. It's also published by all key players in the market. The next thing, as a big global now, right, we are doing is transforming from not just educating and supporting with reports the market, but also with some investments. So now we are launching our first fund. It's the first time GP. And actually, we are backed by Kazakhstan Investment Corporation as an anchor LP, and we target to make the fund size is 30 million. And as of now, we have a very industry agnostic focus with geographic within the region. So it's Kazakhstan, Central Eurasia, and it's actually a multi-stage fund with a key focus on bridge and Series A. So now we have allocation for potential limited partners from global and local markets to be the part of the story and invest with us, invest through the and with the fund of funds QIC. The one more highlight which I wanted to make is on our business development programs, actually educational programs. The story of Big Global started actually from educational programs. In the past, last year, we have done the VC bootcamp program in Kazakhstan, which was mixed format, online and offline, at the end, which has a number of activities in Silicon Valley. This year, we decided to make this our direction as a secondary, but we want to get the market to get more knowledge. So that's why I want to, first of all, thank all of the key players, all of the experts who supported us in doing this basic VC course program. So it's actually addressed for startups, and we have a second one which is addressed for angel investors, which will be published later. So there is a unique opportunity today to get the full access to this basic VC course, which can be found on our website. So basically, that's all that I want to highlight. Today's the topic is about the exits. Thanks, Alex, thanks most. So thanks everyone.
Good. Thank you very much, Ruslan. It's always a good sign for the market when new funds are coming. And I really appreciate that Big Global actually not just goes with what is kind of cash provider, but also think of nurturing the right culture. So the VC course and our stuff, that's good. And it was podcast, I'm expecting still. We made a podcast with Nurjan and Murat, I think he was here. So yeah, Nurulbek, please.
Sure.
Coming from US, right? Directly from US.
Yeah, we are Austin-based company at this point. Thanks again for inviting me. So today I just want to quickly have an overview of my career. This might be interesting to some of the scientists in the room. I know, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, but it is also possible to work on a science, but also try to create a company that creates value in the world R&D. So I started as essentially a scientist at Stanford. I have a PhD in biology. My main focus, just quick overview, was embryo development. And I did some initial work as well in terms of fertility space. So I explored all of the different technologies, but I actually had in mind to create either therapeutics company or more device company. But today you'll see that I ended up working on more of like a tech bio software company. So at Stanford, you get exposed to a lot of these startup scenes, and I didn't even thought about this, but I ended up starting 2 companies. The first one is the Smart Lens, which was like a device company. We created this with our colleagues at Stanford Engineering Department. Currently, they're doing their own clinical trials, but I left to focus on my PhD, and at the end, I think everything culminated me founding the Biodoc Incorporated, which currently I am the CEO of the company. So what is Biodoc? It's a cloud AI platform for bio R&D. As you probably heard, the bio R&D is very slow and expensive process, and our idea is to make it less expensive and more speedy, I guess. So we created this platform for scientists to create their own AI models, to analyze and get insights from their histology, histopathological slides, images, and it's not only limited to that, but all kinds of imaging-related data sets. Currently, we serve clients around the world, globally, mainly US. We have large pharmaceutical companies, Fortune 500, CSL, Behring, contract research organization as well, and small and mid-sized biotech companies. Obviously, we also serve academic institutions from Harvard to Stanford, MIT, and all of the other institutions globally. And we were lucky to have, I think, great investors from Silicon Valley, including Y Combinator and Andreessen Horowitz, their bio fund. So we ended up raising our pre-seed 3.5 million. So I guess diving into the topic, I got interested in, in entrepreneurship at Stanford. One of the things I experienced was one of the companies that was founded in our neighboring lab was acquired for like close to $5 billion when I was doing my PhD. I think that had a huge impact on me, seeing that these kind of things possible. And my professor also, also worked on his own startup, so I decided, yeah, why not? Why shouldn't I, start my own company? But in terms of M&A in biotech, I think one of the key things there is the bringing drugs into the market is very costly. Currently, current estimate is around $1 billion per drug to reach the market. So you can see how expensive that can get. So you need to have very big capital and I think a strategic collaboration with pharma industry and large VC funds to support you. Being like investment heavy and R&D intensive, I think the interest rates, I think, will have a big impact. For example, before 2022, the interest rates was around 0, but after that, it went up to 4% in the US. And I think, as Alexey mentioned, you'll see I think the M&A drop drastically from that, and that has a huge influence on the bio R&D, bio M&A processes as well. And I guess for the local companies, I would say to focus on the more developed country clients from the more developed countries like US. If public market is any indication, you can see that the US public companies have PE ratio around 25, 35x, but Kazakh companies enjoy around like 5 to 10x. So you can see that investors value companies who serve like a US clientele. And I think that was, I guess, part of the reason me starting company in the US and having a US-based clients. And lastly, I guess as a biotech, I think in order to have a successful company and M&A process, you definitely have to have a strong IP and you need to have like a strategic collaboration with pharma companies and large VCs who can invest tens of millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say today. Thank you very much.
Great. Thanks a lot, Nulabek. By the way, I think you should be more emotional when you explained what you do, since I think all people get a sense of the great stuff that you do, and I always admire people who start something from R&D, the deep tech. This is the real one, the deep tech, and you try to build a business based on it. This is great. So I think I will try to make this emotion for you. Yeah, but thank you. Thanks a lot. And yeah, Ruslan, please, I know that you don't have the presentation, but you have a great story. I think Ruslan is one of the great cases and first exits, right? Maybe kind of the first exits that happened in Kazakhstan, and I really admire people to really hear your story. I would love to ask you, before you start, basically to say what you do, and tell me, since it will be my question for others, but you can actually basically, with your introduction, start, what was your exit strategy, when you created it, and how it happened? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Alim, for inviting me here. Hello, everyone. I'm Ruslan Abdulganiyev. I'm founder of 4 startups. First, my 2 startups, they failed. Third one was successful and was sold to a large player. And the fourth one is just newborn. And my third startup was the largest recruitment automation platform in CIS countries. We process around 2.5 million candidates per month. And it was just before the AI, and we built chatbots before all this AI hype. And 2 years ago, we successfully sold it to a large Russian player company. And Alim, your question was how we came to this, yeah?
You created HR Messenger, right?
Mm-hmm.
You sold it to Avita. Yeah. I think it was last year, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, already 2 years ago. So yeah, I mean, how the whole story started? I mean, what was the idea to really find the acquirer, or was it like accident, or what was the exit strategy, let's say?
Well, yeah, when you operate on CS markets, you don't have many options of exit. You don't have option to make IPO. So that's why you have only one alternative, is to sell your company to someone, some large player. And due to the narrow markets, you don't have many choices to sell your startup to. And that's why we had only like 2 large players. And we didn't think about selling our startup when we started to build, because all startuppers, they think about product, first of all, yeah. But my advice for my fellow startuppers is to think about potential buyers as soon as you can. So, because when you think about your exit strategy, you can align your plans, your roadmap with the potential buyer. And that's why we try to build product, and we saw that our large competitors, large companies, they tried to build the same thing, but we didn't fear that. We weren't afraid of that, because we know how large companies move. They don't build successful new things. They just maybe imitate some things, and that's why we built a unique technology. And after we became leaders in CIS countries, in Kazakhstan, in Russia, in Kyrgyz Republic, so we one day we sat with our team, and why we don't reach to our competitors and try to negotiate. And just in 2 months we got 2 offers, and we made
So you didn't want to build a unicorn, right?
No, actually, this is the main problem. Recently, we talked to one of the VCs, and the problem is that most of successful startups, they are sold before they become unicorn, and that's why it's hard to build unicorn. So startups, first of all, it's maybe their first business, and they want to earn money to like hedge their risks. And maybe they have potential to become unicorn, but some large player come with a big cash pocket and give you, and it's hard choice.
Yeah. Sometimes I had the discussion with investors in startup, and I ask, it's like, if someone comes to your company that you invested and tell the amount they're ready to put in, right, just to acquire the company, What do you think? Will they agree or not? And I think it's a reasonable amount. Most people will say yes, right? Okay, but maybe just to kind of look at this not from only the founder standpoint, but from maybe investor standpoint. Since you raised rounds before, right? That what happened? I think you have maybe some investors here who are lucky and happy with your case. But what was the discussion with them? Were aligned with them, like by saying, okay, hey guys, I would love to sell it. Here's the two potential companies. So what was there? What was the way?
It's very important who is on board with you, the investors. You have dialogue. You have to have dialogue with them, and we didn't negotiate too much because it was a good offer, and it was bad time, but the good offer in a bad time because we tried to sell our startup when everything was crushing, the multipliers, the markets, everything. And that's why we didn't think too much. And my investors, I think they are satisfied. They made around like 5 to 7 X's. And I left for 2 years to reach some KPIs, and then they bought me. And this is actually one of my key advices to my fellow startuppers who enter in M&A activities. Don't sell control in your company without a liability from strategic investor to buy you out in a certain period of time, because they will have bargain power, they have control in company. If you then have an agreement on paper with them that they will buy you in, for example, 2 or 3 years, you will drown in negotiations and they will push you, and that's it. So don't sell control before there is an option agreement of total buyout. I have several examples when startuppers still are like for 10 years in their startup and they cannot agree on the terms of the buyout of the rest of their share.
Yeah. It's actually really important there's a lot of cases when there is an exit, but the founder is the worst position, let's say, at the end. Good. Okay, thanks a lot. I actually would love to go from you right away, maybe to Nulibek. My actually question will be the same. Do you have exit strategy for Biodoc, and what it is, if you can share?
Honestly, when I was starting the company, I didn't think about exit strategy, and we still want to go to do the IPO. But I think having M&A in mind, I think it's a good idea, and especially early on is very important. As you can see, the most of the acquisitions happens during seed and Series A. So yeah.
Okay. IPO, it's a good ambition, and yeah, wish you best of luck with that. But again, I mean, maybe the short answer. So you already thought about the exit, right? So
I guess it will depend on the check size, right? I need to make my investors happy.
Good, but you're YC backed, right? Y Combinator backed company, right? And I think we should make a round of applause for Nulibek. They are YC, one of the just a few Kazakh founded companies who went
I
through
believe I might be the second or third. Or
yeah, I think so.
There were quite a few Kazakh founders, which is amazing.
And coming more, I think this is a great thing. Do you discuss these things with YC? And I'm just curious, do they discuss actually?
Yeah, they have a lot of material and advice to give in terms of M&A. There's a lot of obviously YC companies who are ongoing currently. The good thing is in the network, they will ask questions, they post their concerns, so you'll read all of the things that's happening, and I think your advice is pretty, parallel with what the YC network is essentially saying. I think one thing that they usually say is, you get bought, you don't sell. So, which essentially means you shouldn't be selling your company. Like it indicates like desperation. So the big companies will need to buy you. They will need to be interested. If they're not interested, then don't even bother, I think, trying to do an M&A.
Actually, it's interesting point. It's actually important point for the mindset, right? If you do I will just simplify it. If you do some cool stuff, as a company, someone, not someone, maybe the queue, the list of investors will come and will offer you something, right? I mean, just to be there. But maybe just one more, since your story is still a bit different, I can call you you're in a deep tech sector, let's say, right?
For sure.
Any specifics in terms of, you put it like a strategic LP over there, right? Strategic, not LP, strategic investor there.
Right.
But any specifics you have in your roadmap in terms of getting to the IPO, that you are, the way you choose the investors, the way you choose the potential strategic partners for your company?
So I think in terms of investors, we've been pretty lucky at this point. Right now, our main focus is selling the product. I think for past few years, we've been working on this product to make it more easy and accessible to scientists. And working on deep tech is not as straightforward, especially being like a B2B SaaS company. Sometimes the sales process can take long time for these large pharmaceutical companies. So there's a lot of challenges for sure. But I think there's a, they would say moat, I guess, right? You have a great protection, I guess. Not everyone can do what you're doing.
Yeah. The high barrier, actually, to replicate, right? Basically,
exactly.
what you do. Yeah, you cannot just go through the jump, right, into the subject. Good, okay. My question next to Alexey, by the way, and and Nurjan maybe will be the same. Basically, so we heard two founders. One exited, and one hopefully will come, and they're both serial entrepreneurs. But you as a fund, usually people say you have to think about the exit right away, right? Before you even start it. So in your cases, what are your exit strategies as a fund? Maybe what you say to your investors, or what do you really think in terms of what's going on now, and anything, you can share, like, what is your exit strategy?
Yeah, it's a good question. But when you invest in the company, first of all, you assess the probability of the potential exit, for sure. And the main part of this assessment is that the team is strong. They have industry attachment, so they are really cool experts in the industry. And they have built a beautiful product which has a multiple, sorry for that, multiple effect. So it's make some process cheaper 10 times, or it speed up some process 5 times, or it's increase the margin. So that's the main reason why corporates wants to buy a startup, because they do something much better than the employee can do. So our strategy is, it's our companies. It's like our alter ego, So my approach is squeeze out everything from every single opportunity. So I don't want to sell early, I don't want, If we can move with the companies and the company is growing and the founder is doesn't struggle for something, the founders are not tired, they have a lot to do, they are obsessed by the vision and the goal, because the company is the tool, the tool and the way how you can reshape something that disturb you in the deep of your heart, So if they have a lot of power in this field, so let's wait.
So again, I mean, specifically when we talk about the venture, it's a long-term thing, and people should remember this. And it's not
Passion is the main trait of a person who wants to invest. Stay invested. I just came out from Zurich, from UBS investment bank session, and the main thesis was stay invested as long as you can. Forget about interest rate, forget about currencies, geopolitics, recession. strategy or something, stay invested.
Good, but it's a really important thing. But again, I suppose that investors usually ask, okay, I will give you the money for your fund. Where will be the exit, right? So
Is it
together-
promise? Is it your promise? No.
No.
Okay.
You can find investors here for sure. I can introduce, but that's what I usually hear as a fund manager for sure. Like, okay, here's a strategy, here's a mandate, everything is clear, but where will be the exit? So what do you usually tell them? Like M&As, you put a lot of stake on M&As, or you think that, no, guys, we will think about secondaries, I don't know. Anything else?
You know, I'm in the business 10 years, so I saw a lot of, how to say, transformation in investors' opinion, in the founders' opinion. Yeah, so we try to find out an exit from the fund, not from the company. If the company is growing, because you know, I always under the pressure. So there is a huge round. We invested at, I don't know, 5 million valuation. Now it's several hundreds of million valuation of the company. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's time. Our position is huge. It's millions. Yeah? And we invested thousands, hundreds of thousands. And I do pushback. I said, if you want to exit from the fund, okay, I will replace you. But I'm not going to out from this company, because when you pull out the money, you need to think when you want to pull in. Here we have de-risked company, de-risked market, de-risked technology. Everything works perfectly. Why do we need to replace it?
Exactly, exactly. And it's a good thing we can replace you. If you share our journey, we're going to replace you. This is good. Okay, thanks a lot. Ruslan, I know that you just launched the fund, but still, I think you already thought about it. And specifically, I know that you have a deep experience of actually attracting international investment. But still, about your B Global Ventures Fund, what do you think? What do you usually tell to your investors? And what is your ambition in terms of exits?
Yes, thanks, Ali. I think, yeah, so in my background experience, I also some kind of like a PE guy too. So that's why attracting the foreign direct investments, as well as we are facing, actually, I faced some issues and challenges that usually investors are asking, because every investments are starting from the question, where is the exit? So where is the exit strategy? And in terms of the expectations, what I can highlight, I think usually any type of investors are looking for three main expectations from the market when they're entering to the market or entering to the specific area or industry. The first one is a clear exit mechanism. So this is like a IPO, M&A, or secondary shares. And in that case, actually, when I'm answering to the questions of potential limited partners of our fund, I'm thinking the simple thing that we are the one part of the huge investment story, the huge fund of funds, and as well, we have like an ultimate shareholder, and anyway there is some governmental and also corporate support. And the second expectation is availability of strategic buyers, and the story shows that it's coming. But of course, I think our market still needs some more corporates, more CVCs to be involved. But I think one of your last case, and which is the third expectation about the success stories that can be highlighted, which you get like as a most fund on CTOgram project, when the huge corporate player bought the stake of previous investor and so on. So this is, I think, three expectations when any type of investors are usually asking. And if you're ready to show them by the examples from the market, from the experience of your personal experience, or from the experience of the companies you have worked in, I think you are more close to the success to get investments.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that the corporates will hear this. within more M&As for the CVCs, so corporate venture funds and stuff. But it's okay, it's clear. Good, good, thanks a lot. Yerjan, you're a little bit different. You're an angel. You go really early, right? And sometimes someone would love to buy out, right, at some point. But what is your strategy when you invest?
Thanks, Salim. So, as my colleagues already mentioned, so business of venture capitalists is to find talented founders, buy a share in their company, and sell that share later on for higher price. And as my colleague said, you do not sell, you get acquired. So you don't have influence on an exit. So many early angels say, how do you exit? You don't exit, you wait. It's the riskiest asset class, and it's the most like not liquid asset class. You could be in the company for 10 years, more than 10 years. Like now we see the most successful companies like say SpaceX, they're private, and they're very successful, and nobody.
$600 billion.
Yeah, and every time they do a round of investment, they have a queue of investors who want to put their money in.
So you don't invest like 50% of your net worth into
so
startups?
This is the riskiest asset class. You should allocate less than 10% of your net worth. And how can you make a strategy is only by diversification. So professional VCs all over the world say that if we're talking about pre-seed, seed stages, very early stages, the riskiest ones, you have to have at least 45 investments. So build a portfolio at least of 45. Because if you're entering this business and you buy, say, less than 10 companies, it's a very high probability that you lose all the money and do not hit one startup which will bring you 100x or more. So business of venture capitalists is do hundreds of investments and catch 1, 2, 3 who can do tens, hundreds, maybe thousands of exits you mentioned, right? So there's no exit strategy. There's only strategy how you build your portfolio, diversify across industries, across verticals, across regions. So let's say my main point is your strategy is diversification. So if you're entering, be ready to be in the business for 10 years and buy at least 50 companies. And in order to buy 50 companies, you need to like do that throughout like 3-4 years.
Yeah, Matt, a few callers. Yeah, I want to support Nurjan's thesis is that you should stay longer as much as you can, and you have no out. You cannot manage it sometime. But because I'm running a lot of secondaries deals, yeah. For instance, the company which called Cohere, it's like OpenAI. They do stuff for enterprise companies, and I make an exit for early stage investor who invested at valuation $200 million, and 3 years later, I took these shares. I bought these shares. The valuation was for something billion. Yeah. So liquidity appears after Series B. So when the company generates tens of thousands per year, 10, 20, 30, and the round is happening, now you maybe have a choice to sell something, because a lot of my portfolio companies, they were oversubscribed. Yeah, it means that, for instance, they raised 30, 50 million, and investors want to invest more, and then they buy early angels. Yeah, they buy secondaries. So that's the way how you can exit, but you need to grow company on this peak.
Alim, what do you think about the idea to finish with the one message from each
That's
speaker
what I
just
wanted.
for 60
I wanted
seconds?
to look at you and ask you, do I have time? But I see that it's only 3 minutes left officially. But
Yeah.
this will be my last question. We're on the same mode. Guys, just only 3 minutes left formally. Unfortunately, we have to finish, but it seems like we only catch the speed of this discussion. So I would love you to send one message. Actually, one of the goals of our forum is actually to bring more capital, to bring more smart money, and to provide more opportunity for high potential, talented founders. So maybe one message, it will be interesting to hear from the founders why we should invest today.
Yeah, from
And,
30 seconds to
and
60
from
seconds.
the angels, from the funds, yeah, maybe I will add something.
Okay, guys, let's start. But you have just 1 minute, like it's pitch deck. Ruslan, will you start?
It could be even
Okay,
less.
let's go.
So the question was why
You should invest
in us?
today in startups in venture.
Again?
Why investors should invest today?
Okay.
I mean venture stuff, tech sector.
I think the answer is, as always, everything is changes, and if you want to be on the edge of technology, you should invest not tied to time, not today, not tomorrow, not yesterday, always, because you're stimulating technology growth and you're changing the world with this. And that's why the best time to invest is always today in technology. This is my answer.
Great. Good. Nurlubek?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. There's a book called, I think, VC, American Story. VC is essentially the American invention. I guess, as Ben Horowitz said, like there's a lot of wealthy individuals around the world, especially in America, and they invest obviously in startups. But when the startup fails, he says they kind of upset, and they lost their investment. And he essentially says, why are you upset? Because you are investing in the future of the world, and you're giving these young people a chance to build a future. If his first startup fails, he'll create a second one, which can also fail, but third one can be obviously successful, right? So I think you should always invest in VC. I think it's a noble thing.
Good. Great. Good. Nurjan?
Yeah, just a quick, I think it's a high time to invest to be the part of the next, like OpenAI, Bitcoin, or Google story. So I think it's a high time in our region.
Yeah, I want to send your message. So because we are talking about exits, so if you have time to wait, invest today in early stage startups. If you want to have an exit in 3-5 years, you should invest in late stage. You will be much closer to your multiples and exits.
Good.
Yeah. So venture capitalists bet and vote with the money what the future will be like according to their vision. So it is very fascinating and exciting to predict the future, and it could be profitable as well.
Good. And I will, from
Would be
myself.
great, yes, if you'll do it by yourself.
I will say, to invest, what I usually say, if you just start, you're already late. And tomorrow will be much more expensive. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I think it was a great discussion.
To
Thank you
our
very much.
speakers, it was a panel session about Next Frontier. Yes, please stand up,
Thank you.
and we'll make the picture. Наши фотографы, пожалуйста, сфотографируйте наших спикеров всех вместе. И мы начнем готовиться к нашей следующей сессии. Чуть-чуть погромче 4-й микрофон. Спасибо. Итак, на сцене Алим Хамитов, Ельжан Кушекбаев, Алексей Алексанов, Нуржан Кадыркей, Нурлубек Мурсалиев и Руслан Абдулганиев. Давайте им поаплодируем. Большое спасибо, господа. Это было очень плодотворно и очень интересно. Да, где общее фото, пожалуйста? Давайте хотя бы на телефон это сделаем. Да, сейчас. Так, а вот коллеги прям сфоткают, да, на телефон Алима, пожалуйста. Итак, еще раз. 1, 2 и 3. Большое спасибо, господа. А мы продолжаем, двигаемся дальше. И напомню о том, что... Помимо увлекательных дискуссий для гостей и участников форума, предусмотрены практические воркшопы и мастер-классы в зале «Ренессанс». Как выстроить эффективный совет директоров в стартапе с Жаном Карсыбаевым, Big Sky Capital. Как подготовиться к Series A, выбор рынка и стратегия масштабирования, закрытый воркшоп от Liberty Ventures и Nurable. Главный навык лидера следующего десятилетия – мастер-класс Филиппа Гузенюка о долгосрочной воле и антихрупкости. Venture Start – программа подготовки бизнес-ангелов, как формируется венчурное мышление инвестора и что нужно, чтобы делать первые чеки уверенно. Эти активности доступны для категории билетов «Инвестор», «Gold», «VIP», а также категории билетов «Инвестор», «Gold», «VIP» и «Спикер». Коллеги, для вас работает терраса летняя, там тоже можно прекрасно пообщаться. Итак, мы готовимся к